All right. Hi, everyone. This is Amanda Pierce-Kelly with NAC. I am so excited to have you all join us today for our National Health Center Week picture and video contest webinar. You're going to hear lots of great information about how to put together a great submission for the contest, a little bit about the rules and guidelines and the logistics, and then also we're going to hear from our fantastic contest sponsors and one of our former contest winners. So we've got a really great agenda for you guys today. Before we dive in, just a couple of housekeepings. During the webinar, we encourage folks to use their computer to access the audio, so hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear. But for those of you who maybe are on the phone or having issues with accessing the audio, there's a slide up that just kind of explains how to do that. The other thing that you can do is if you have questions at any point during the webinar, the best way to raise those is to enter them into the chat box. We will definitely allow some time at the end for question and answer, and it may be that we can take some of them up along the way. But at any point, if you've got questions, just go ahead and enter those into the chat box, and we are excited to be able to respond to whatever information you need and or comments and feedback. So just to start, I want to take a minute to recognize our contest sponsors who have been so important and instrumental in helping us to grow the success and the reach of the Health Center Week contest. To start, I want to recognize Claudia Galvez, who's an Associate for Patient Assistance Programs at Pfizer, RX Pathways. Claudia has just been a delight to work with. We've had the pleasure of working with Pfizer for a number of years. In fact, this is our anniversary year of our NAC Pfizer RX Pathways partnership, and Claudia has just been a really wonderful resource. And they're the exclusive sponsor of the Health Center Week picture contest this year, and so I want to turn the microphone over to Claudia for a moment to just share with you a little bit about their involvement and their excitement around National Health Center Week. Claudia?
Thank you, Elizabeth, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you on behalf of Pfizer RX Pathways to help kick off the planning and promotion for the National Health Center Week. This year actually marks the 30th anniversary of Pfizer providing patients with help accessing their medicines. Today, that help is provided through Pfizer RX Pathways, a service that's designed to help connect patients to assistance programs that offer insurance support, copay assistance, and medicines for free or at savings. Patients can also call our toll-free number, which I can share with you later, and also our PfizerRxPathways.com to speak with one of our Pfizer's medicine access counselors, called them MACs. These counselors are specially trained to work with each patient to understand their unique situation and guide the patients to the Pfizer programs or resources that can best help them. So if there's something that isn't there, we can definitely guide them through other programs that they can access. So that's a great tool that we have. And also by visiting the website, you can also see our new digital ad, which I'm really excited. It's also in English and Spanish that we recently launched to help raise awareness of the program. The digital ad, what it does is seeks to reassure patients that in America's constantly changing healthcare environment, as you all know, Pfizer is here to help. Additionally, in an effort to make sure Pfizer is able to reach all the patients and populations who need the help, who need help the most, Pfizer has maintained a strong partnership with FQHCs to help administer the Pfizer Institutional Patient Assistance Program, which we call IPAP. This provides eligible and uninsured patients with access to nearly 30 free Pfizer medicines through more than 300 health centers, free clinics, hospitals across the country. This is a program that I help manage, so if any of you have any questions about it, please feel free to contact me. And as Elizabeth said, this marks the 25th year anniversary of Pfizer's partnership with the FQHCs and NAC to raise awareness of the IPAP program. So to commemorate this special year, we're proudly sponsoring NAC's 2017 National Health Center Week photo contest. So we encourage you to participate by submitting photos that reflect the healthcare services that you provide to your patients and showing us what it means to be able to provide your patients with Pfizer medicines, with the medicines that they need. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing all of your photos. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Just a quick, I can't tell, I never can with technology whether or not the audio is not so great on our side or if it's across the entire platform and network, but apologies if folks are experiencing any kind of issues with audio. So the next wonderful person that I want to recognize is Allison Williams, who's the Director of Account Management at Athena Health. Athena Health is our exclusive sponsor for the video contest, and I honestly just cannot say enough about the team at Athena. They have been wonderful to work with on National Health Center Week as a whole, and I'm so thrilled to have their support as the exclusive sponsor for the video contest. The folks at Athena really understand health centers. Allison herself comes from a health center background, and so I want to give her the mic for a moment here just to let her speak to their involvement with National Health Center Week and with the contest as a whole. Allison?
Sure, great. Thank you so much. As Amanda mentioned, my name is Allison Williams. I'm a Director of Account Management here at Athena Health. A little background about me is I was with a community health center for almost 10 years prior to joining the Athena team. So, and, you know, FQHCs are always a special place in my heart and is a place where I come from. I absolutely love the work and the care that we provided to the community and our patients. Athena Health is a cloud-based offering for patient engagement, electronic health record, and practice management services. Our website is athenahealth.com. Feel free to take a peek, take a look. But our real purpose here is to just be so excited and thrilled to be honored as a corporate sponsor for National Health Center Week of 2017. Just wanted to take a moment to express how grateful we are to have the privilege and to be a sponsor for National Health Center Week. And specifically with regard to the video contest. We look forward to seeing health centers all across the country submit both pictures and the videos, of course, of what is happening in your communities during Health Center Week. We want you to share your stories, spread the word, and celebrate all the innovative work community health centers are doing all across our country. Please take full advantage of the celebration and the opportunity to raise awareness. Further, remember that you folks are the largest primary care network of providers in our country. You're serving, I still say we, but we're serving 25 million patients. Be proud of what you represent and the incredible care that you provide every single day. And overall, just thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity to provide sponsorship, and happy National Health Center Week to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison. We really appreciate the support of both Pfizer Rx Pathways and Athena Health, and just a really warm thank you to Claudia and Allison for being such wonderful partners. And we're really excited about the contest. So let's dive in terms of what to expect this year, how to put together those fantastic submissions. There are a few changes that we've made, which I know my team, Elizabeth, Alex, and Dorian are going to get into a little bit further on. Just as a reminder to folks, the theme for National Health Center Week this year is Celebrating America's Health Centers, the Key to Healthier Communities. The theme we choose from year to year is really meant to highlight what's happening in the environment, you know, across the healthcare sector, certainly in the policy world, but I think just in general, sort of looking at the environment and what is the message that we really want to present to policymakers and to the public about health centers. So this year in particular, you'll see, in addition to the official National Health Center Week hashtag, which is NHCW17, we're also using value CHCs, which is something that we launched back in March. And the theme, the Key to Healthier Communities, really speaks to that value statement. We really want to encourage folks to think about whether or not you can use this theme to help build your events. And in the context of the conversation today, how might you incorporate the theme into your submissions for the video and the picture contest? In fact, there is a prompt under both, you'll see, which we'll talk about, that ties directly to the theme. So just an added plug there. And I think in general, the theme is not meant to be rigid. We want you to make that your own, but it hopefully serves as a helpful tool in terms of creating that hook. we're really excited about change this year and update, and that is that we have a brand new National Health Center Week website. For those of you that haven't had a chance to check it out, it's the same address, which is greathealthcenterweek.org. But once again, as we've done every year, we have a ton, actually, this year of media templates. We have a lot of space for dedicated partnership opportunities. We've also gone and updated our 2017 focus days, which is a great segue into our next slide. What we found last year was that, well, let me back up a little bit further than that. For many years, we've always singled out 3 days within National Health Center Week to recognize the work that health centers do with special populations. And so this past year, we said, boy, you know, there are so many great events going on and lots of different spaces where we really want to create an echo chamber and showcase some of the work. So let's theme out the rest of the days. And what we saw last year was that the response from you all in the field was very positive, and so we've followed that same model and done the same thing again this year. So what you have in front of you on the screen now is a representation. It tells you exactly what the theme is for each of the days during National Health Center Week, starting with Elected Officials Day on Sunday, August 13th, Health Screening Day on Monday the 14th, and just as a sidebar on that one, we have a really wonderful partnership with the folks at the American Cancer Society at the national level, but it is also a partnership that exists heavily across the country at the local level. There are lots of different health screenings that are way beyond just the cancer prevention piece, but we do encourage those of you who may be partnering with the American Cancer Society to look at building events and or placing local media pieces and so forth to speak to that partnership and the important work that you're doing. So keeping forward, Tuesday is Public Housing Health Centers Day. We're really excited about the movement we've seen around this space. We have some wonderful partners in the Public Housing Health Centers arena. We'll move on to Wednesday, which is Healthcare for the Homeless Day, August 16th. We're still in the process of looking at how to push those wonderful event kits that were sponsored this year out to the field. So look for more information coming on that very soon. Thursday is Agricultural Worker Health Day, the 17th. Friday, we're really excited this year to recognize consumer board members. The day will be dedicated to engaging our consumer board members in Health Center Week events, whether it be hosting an open house where perhaps your consumer board member is the host of that open house, is really engaging your community and explaining to them their role in actually overseeing the operations and the direction of the health center. Again, it could be the placement of a local media piece. It could be recognizing your consumer board members and awarding them or honoring them in some way. There's a number of different formats for how we might leverage that day, but this is such an important part of the health center program and model. It's really the jewel of health centers, frankly, that our consumers serve in this capacity. And so we want to do everything that we can to showcase that unique element within the health center model and just celebrate the role that they play and why it's such an important element. So the last piece here for the focus days, an event format that we see very frequently during National Health Center Week over the years is events oriented to children's health, whether it be a back-to-school fair, sports physicals and immunizations. I mean, there's a ton of different activities that go around in this space. And so we thought, boy, you know what, let's designate an entire day to just celebrating and events that are really formatted to children's health. And so Saturday, August 19th is Children's Health Day within National Health Center Week. The one thing I would say with the focus days is that they're, again, not meant to be rigid. Certainly, you could have any number of events formatted under these particular themes, and they could fall at any time during the week or really in the month of August, and we would still call them a National Health Center Week event. But if you do choose to slot these types of formats on these days, what it does is it just creates a louder voice and a greater visibility nationally for that particular theme. So just encourage you guys to think about these creatively, and if you have questions or you need resources, please let us know. We do have resources dedicated to each on the Health Center Week website, which you can access under the Focus Days tab. So from there, I am happily going to turn this over to my colleague Alex Harris, our Deputy Director for Advocacy here, for Alex to walk you through the next set of slides that get a little deeper into the do's and don'ts around the picture and video contest. Alex?
Great, thank you, Amanda. So we're going to talk a little bit about why it's such a great idea for you guys to participate in the Health Center Week Picture and Video Contest. And hopefully, since you're on this webinar, you're thinking pretty seriously about it. And we'll go into some of the rules, in particular what's changed from last year if you guys are kind of alumni of this contest. So just to get started, first of all, I think the picture and video contest is a really great way to get some extra promotion and recognition for your health center. Not only are pictures and videos that are submitted shared on our website, our social media accounts, through the annual health center's calendar and a ton of different presentations that we give. They're embedded in our slides and on our website and kind of all over the place. So it's a great way for you to get that national recognition. But it also, a lot of these pictures and videos can be used for different purposes. So if you're submitting to the contest, that's an awesome way to use it. But you can also, display the video maybe in your waiting room. You can share the photos on your own social media accounts or in your annual report. All of these materials have various purposes. So it's just a great thing to be doing anyway, and this gives you an opportunity to win some prizes for that work. And of course, it helps build some local pride around your health center and the work that you do as well, which is incredibly important. So like I said, great promotion. It builds, it's a built-in way for you to engage your community and request their support for your health center. I love this picture by Christian Munoz, who will share a little bit with us in a bit. A Nuestra Clínica del Valle, this was one of their grand prize winning photos. They just are so successful, and he'll talk a little bit about this, at getting a lot of votes for their photos. And so it's a great way to rally your community around what you're doing and get their support, and it's an easy ask, right? To vote for a photo is a pretty easy thing to do, and it just helps reinforce that sense of community that you have going on. And obviously, we have some awesome prizes. So how do you participate? What are the rules? Unfortunately, we have to have some serious rules because we do give really awesome prizes. That's kind of the trade-off. So just to kind of go over some of the main points of this, the first thing you have to do is take a picture or take a video or put together a video. That's pretty obvious. You can submit different things for pictures. It can be a photo, or it can actually be a drawing. So we've had some prize-winning drawings in years past that are really creative and fun things, like a day with, out my health center. And one time we had, I think, a picture of a health center with like a dinosaur, which is pretty creative. So, I mean, you can get really creative with this stuff. If you're doing a coloring or a poster contest at your health center anyway for Health Center Week, take those submissions and maybe submit one of them for this contest. You do have to keep things in landscape orientation. That's because it fits better on our calendar that way. So just keep that in mind. If you are submitting a video, it does have to be less than 3 minutes, and unfortunately we have to get pretty strict about that because that helps us pick who the finalists are going to be. So not 3 minutes and 1 second. Make sure you cut off that extra second and keep it less than 3 minutes because it's incredibly important. And then this kind of seems obvious, but maybe it's not to everyone, but you shouldn't use a professional to take your picture or create your video. So don't hire somebody outside of your health center to come do a professional commercial for your health center and then submit that. Make sure it's it doesn't have to be a staff member at your health center, but somebody who has maybe just some sort of passing interest in this, not that they're making money to do this. And then you have to submit it. So each individual person can submit up to one picture and one video anytime throughout the month of August. So I myself can submit one picture and one video on behalf of NAC, but my colleague Elizabeth could also submit one picture and one video on behalf of NAC. So we get a lot of questions like, can my health center submit multiple photos or videos? That's fine, but it does have to be on behalf of another person. Yes, of separate people. Your pictures, when you send them to us and you submit them, they either have to be in JPEG or .png format. That just makes sure that we can share it. And your videos have to be submitted either by uploading it to Dropbox or Google Drive and sending us a link, or uploading it to YouTube or Vimeo and sending us a link. if you're like, I don't know what JPEG is, or I don't know what Vimeo is, and this makes sense to me, feel free to just give us a call or send us an email. We're happy to help through that process. We try to give a couple of options so you can do what's easiest for you, but we definitely want to keep it as simple as possible. So what are some things that are new this year? This requirement about JPEG and PNG is new because we've gotten some photos in weird formats that are tricky to kind of understand. And the video submission links are new too, just because we want to make sure that, first of all, you're not trying to email us your video and it's not going through and you miss the submission period because your file is too large. We want to make sure we get that link and it's easy for us to use and share. Make sure you send your pictures and videos in their original size and resolution. So if you take stuff via smartphone, that's totally fine, and smartphones these days seem to have like amazing resolution. But just don't send us like the small thumbnail version of that, because then it looks kind of bad when it's on a calendar. So just send us the original resolution. And again, like if it's easier, just upload it to Google Drive or Dropbox and send it to us. That's a good way to do it. We get a lot of collages submitted, and we've decided that's okay, but try to keep it to 3 or fewer photos, because it seems to be a way just to get all your best photos in there. So just be, selective about which photos you want to include. And then if you're going to overlay some text, just limit it to your health center's name. Try not to include so much extraneous text. We're just trying to make sure that the calendar look is streamlined and, that people can actually see the work that you created. Every year we require people to collect release forms for people who are featured in your photos and videos, and every year we get a ton of questions about it. It's a tricky thing. I don't think we have a super easy answer for it, but basically, I mean, if you have a giant photo that's featuring one person and you can clearly see their face and recognize that person, you're going to need a release form from that person. But if you're taking a picture of a crowd and people's faces aren't super identifiable, you probably really don't need to worry about release forms. Generally, if an elected official has come to speak at a public event, you don't really need a release form for that elected official. But we just caution you guys to be on the safe side. We do have links to release forms on our website, so it should be pretty easy just to print that and get it signed. But if you don't have release forms for people that are particularly identifiable, and we take extra special caution with pictures of kids, we get a lot of cute kids, then your photo or video won't be selected as a finalist, unfortunately. So make sure you turn that stuff in, and that stuff has to be in by the end of August as well. This year, what's new, and Christian will talk probably about this a little bit, but we've had some awesome grand prize winners for multiple years, and this year we're instituting a new rule that you can't be a grand prize winner consecutively in one category, but you could go to the other category, to the video contest, for example, or vice versa, to participate. And we definitely want as many people participating as possible because it is a fun event. And then also this year, we tend to sometimes have suggestions for themes that you can use for your photos. But this year, we're going to actually pick a quota. We're going to have a quota for each theme of finalists that we're going to select. So that's a little bit different. So I wanted to show you guys this grid. So you can see every year we have 25 picture finalists and 10 video finalists. And then this year, you can see within each theme, there are going to be a certain number of finalists chosen. So it might help for you to think about which theme you want to enter into. So the themes this year are, of course, the theme for National Health Center Week, celebrating America's health centers, the key to healthier communities. We'll pick 4 video finalists and 10 picture finalists from that category. The second theme is, of course, something that we've been talking a lot in our advocacy efforts about showcasing the value of health centers. In that category, we'll have 4 video finalists and 10 picture finalists. And then we have 2 categories for each of our sponsors for the video and picture finalists. The first is illustrating the role of health center pharmacies in community health. So we'll actually pick 5 picture finalists from that category. And then the last one is illustrating the role of health center information technology in community health. And there will be 2 video finalists for that one. So anyway, I mean, I don't know if this will determine which pictures and videos you want to submit, but I wanted to make sure we let you guys know how we were going to choose the finalists this year. And just to plug, you can find all of this information and a lot more on healthcenterweek.org/2017 picture video contest. We also have some good tips on there for good pictures and videos.
All right. Great. And I just want to plug a quick reminder that we will be uploading the slides and a copy of this recording to the Health Center Week website after the webinar, hopefully in the next day or two. So if you didn't get a chance to jot down that grid or any of the other information we've gone over so far, not to worry, we'll have it up on the website for you and you can go back and reference it. But let's jump into what happens next after you submit your photo and the deadline ends. Who wins? How do we figure that out? So the voting process is going to be pretty similar to past years. As Alex mentioned, we'll have 25 picture finalists and 10 video finalists, and we will release them this year on Monday, September 11th. And then the rest of that week is going to be open for voting. So as in the past, the winners will be chosen by popular vote by you and your health center colleagues, your community, your friends, family, all those people. And the rules for voting are pretty simple. You can vote for your favorite picture and your favorite video, even if it is one that you have submitted, because obviously you should probably vote for your own submission. You may not vote more than once. We will not count votes that are duplicated. And you have to fill out, there are 3 ways you can vote. You can vote via web form, and that will be made available on September 11th along with those final pictures and final videos. You can like the picture of your choice on our Facebook page, and you can like the video of your choice on our YouTube page. So those are the 3 different ways you can vote. And again, we will make the finalists as well as the voting form live on Monday, September 11th. Just a quick run-through of the prizes in case you're not sold on the contest. We will have 1 winning picture and then 11 runners-up for the other months of the year in the calendar that we produce. The winning picture will receive a $500 sponsorship for next year's National Health Center Week to help support your events and offset some of those costs. You'll also get a Canvas printout of the picture you submitted, a copy of the calendar that we'll put together, and then a Health Center Week t-shirt from this year. And then the 11 runner-ups will receive a Canvas printout of their submission as well as a copy of the calendars. And just a quick note, it does take us a little bit to get that calendar, formatted and put together and turned around. So we aim to get those things out before the holidays, but just know they're not going to be available immediately. We do need to do some work on the calendar, but your prizes will come as fast as they can. For winning videos, we'll have 2. We've got a winner and a runner-up. The winner will receive a $500 NAC sponsorship for next year's National Health Center Week, 1 of this year's t-shirts, and then the winning video will be shared on our social media pages and featured on both of our websites. That's the HC Advocacy website as well as the Health Center Week website. And then the video runner-up will receive a $250 sponsorship for next year's National Health Center Week, along with a t-shirt. So just a quick review of the timeline and time frame for all of this. Be sure to mark your calendars because we will open the submission form on Tuesday, August 1st at midnight Eastern Time, and we will collect submissions all the way through the end of the month till Thursday, August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So you've got a whole month to get your submissions in. I would suggest not waiting until the last possible minute just in case you have computer troubles and as Alex said, your files are too large or something. I would suggest trying to get them in plenty of time so you're not strapped at the last minute. Then, as I said, voting on finalists will be via the form and social media. That will start on Monday, September 11th at 12 noon Eastern and end on Friday of that week, the 15th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And then we will calculate the votes and tally everything up over the weekend and announce the winners on Monday, September 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And that will be via an email out to the whole network, on social media, anywhere else we can think of to shout from the rooftops who has won the contest this year. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dorian to talk a little bit about how you can submit a winning picture and video.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Dorian Wanzer. I'm the Grassroots Advocacy Manager for Outreach and Communications. And so we're trying to figure out what makes a picture or a video good enough to win. So in terms of winning videos and pictures, you want to definitely make sure you're on theme. So this year we're all about, how health centers bring value to our communities. And you can also always show, your health center's innovations and what they've done to improve patient care. But this year we really want to see pictures and videos that might focus on pharmacy services. They might focus on, your impact in the community and the value that you bring to patients. Of course, anything that's related to advocacy and recruitment is also welcome too. So just think about that in terms of, what you're presenting and putting out there.
Sorry, I'm interrupting, Dorian, but I'm going to make a shout out real quick on the pharmacy services piece. And this is a nod to our fantastic sponsors over at RX Pathways. So for those of you that may actually be coming from a Pfizer RX Pathways site where you're working with them on this program, we really, really encourage you to think about how you can showcase that as a part of your picture contest submission. It is such an important program to health center patients, and I just literally can't say enough about how much they've given back to the communities we're serving. And so this is a really unique and special way to showcase the importance and the value of that program to your health center. So the theme is meant to showcase the pharmacy services as a whole, but just a special shout out and nod to those folks that have that direct connection to Pfizer RX Pathways to do what you can, see what you can do to get your submission to align in that way.
Definitely. Thanks, Amanda. Another point about just staying on theme and what you can do and show in your images and videos is highlighting the advocacy your health center does, which I just mentioned. But if you have a great meeting with a member of Congress or a video of them visiting your health center, or if you've got, an image of you actually registering advocates or people, taking action, whether they were in your state capital or what have you, those are also great ideas for winning photos and videos. Another thing that you'll want to keep in mind is an action shot, a candid action shot is always great. There are a slew of health fairs and community events where you can catch community members, kids, members of Congress in action, so definitely take advantage of those moments. Of course, still images are great as well, but there's nothing like, a picture is worth a thousand words, and so is a video. Definitely think about the environment in which you're filming. While you want to capture action and things like that, you want to make sure it's not too busy, not too loud, especially if you're doing a video, you have the right audio and things like that in place. Nothing's worse than a great video and then, maybe you're not able to hear it, or maybe the view is not clear. So, again, make sure everything is well lit and that, no photo, picture, or video is too bright or too dark. The other thing is, I know we've had in the past, some great video interviews. If you're doing a one-on-one interview with somebody and you're considering submitting that video for the contest, just make sure that we have a good view of that individual or individuals that you're filming. You'll want to make sure that you kind of catch them from the waist up, and that we're able to hear them and see their face, and you as well if it's that type of interview. And once again, make sure that your sound is on and that it's very clear, so that if you have a video where you're trying to make a certain point, that we understand that and that it makes sense in what you've submitted. Another thing is you can tell a story. It may or may not have been mentioned before, but if you submit an image, it could be more than one image that's telling a story, but it could be in that one image. So think about that. You could have a picture of an event that you had from start to finish. You could also have, if you want to have some text, with an image that you're submitting. So keep that in mind. Always want to tell a story with those submissions. If you have videos, please remember to adhere to time limits. The videos must be under 3 minutes. Excuse me, is it 3 or 2? Yeah, 3 minutes. If you were going to be strict this year, we're sticking to that. We definitely want to keep it at 3 minutes. Just that's the right amount of time to keep people's attention, and it just makes for a better video. And then also just the most important part, as we always say, is have fun with what you're doing. You know, make sure that you're involving people, getting some different perspectives, be creative, and enjoy yourself. And that shines through in really all of the submissions, so please be sure to do that. So right now we're going to hear from Christian Munoz. He was the picture winner last year and has been in multiple years past, or maybe just one or two. Three. So we are really excited to have him on, and he's going to share some of his thoughts and tips for winning pictures.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian Munoz. So I wanted to share with everyone some of the tips and some of the things that we've used to win over the past 3 years. We've been very successful and very thankful for all the support and all the recognition that we've received over the past 3 years. And as you all can see on the slide right now, that's our photo from last year. And we wanted to share the power of photography to tell a story last year, and that was what we did last year. And you can see everything from an individual that overcame obesity and lost over 100 pounds, a son who's helping his mother fight cancer, and a mother who lost her son to violence from gun-related issues. So the power of photography is very important. So that was our theme of telling a story. And the previous year, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of NAC, and that's when you saw the 50th balloons and that celebration. So we always try to either tell the story, keep with the theme, and make sure that the image is clear and something that can relate to individuals. And this is one of the most important things that we wanted to tell our patient stories, because a lot of our patients are dealing with some of these issues, and that was one of the most important things that we could do, was share their stories. So how have we won for the past 3 years? That's something that I get asked very frequently, like, what is it that you do and what can you share with us? So some of the strongest points is getting all center staff involved. And as soon as that email comes out from Amanda saying, these are the finalists, go out and vote, I can assure you that email has already been forwarded to all the clinic staff by email within 5 minutes of the release. And getting everyone involved, from the front desk staff to nurses in the back, it's a team effort. And let me tell you, we make it a point that whole week of voting, we're communicating this with all our patients. We do set up sections within our lobby that they can view all the photos and select the photo that they would like to vote for. And we also send out emails throughout all the agencies we work with a distributors list. And I can tell you the emails that we forward out that Monday, it's tremendous. We can forward out somewhere around 500 to 600 emails to everyone that we work with, all our patients that have email access and that have given us access to email them. We're letting them know what we have going on and asking them for support. And our patients are always been very, very thankful and supportive towards our clinic, and that's led to our success with this photo contest. And it's given us the opportunity to, one, bring exposure to our clinic and share our image across the nation. So it's been a great experience. But those are some of the tips. Setting up stations in the lobby for patients can get engaged in voting, the distribution of emails, getting the staff involved, all center staff involved, that's very important. And being very active on Facebook. I was going through our photo last year. We shared it out 97 times. And through those 97 shares, we received 314 likes. So the power of social media is very important. And I can guarantee you we were very active with sharing and asking individuals to go out and like our photo. So we've been very thankful and very appreciative of everything.
Thanks so much, Christian, and good luck this year. Even though you can't win in the picture category, hopefully we'll see some great video from Nuestra Clinica.
Yeah, we'll have something up our sleeves.
Yeah. We have no doubt, Christian. It's a good sign when we have to change the rules, my friend, in order to accommodate. But no, we're really, really proud of the incredible images and work that you've done to turn out the vote. and show everyone how to be successful on these contests going forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So with that, I think what we're going to do is ask if you're ready and open this up a little. I think we want to hear from you guys if you have questions, and just share your excitement, I hope. So a couple of other plugs on National Health Center Week as we look through your questions and your comments here. If you haven't done so already, really need you guys to post your events, your National Health Center Week events on the Health Center Week website. It's very easy. The benefits of posting your events is that it's going to plug you into potential sponsorship opportunities. That's the very first place that I go and the team goes when we're looking at how to pair our national sponsors with local event options. The other thing is the visibility. As Health Center Week has grown, the traffic to the National Health Center Week website by every walk of life you can possibly imagine, policymakers, media, influencers, they're looking at the website to see what's happening in their community and to get a taste of Health Center Week as a whole. So it's a really great tool for public visibility and national visibility for your event. The other piece is that I have said this, I don't even know how many times in the last week alone. I've never seen the kind of response from our congressional offices as I've seen this year, inquiring about what's happening back home in their districts and across their state, and looking for event opportunities to be able to join and celebrate in person. So the best thing that you can do to connect with your congressional folks, and I think policymakers in general, because certainly we want you guys to be spending time with your state and your local folks as well, but by getting that event information posted up there, it gives them insight into, boy, you know, such and such a health center is planning to host this kind of event on this date, and they can work that into their schedule. So please, if you haven't already, I cannot stress the importance of making sure that your events are posted on the website. It's super easy, as I said, and Elizabeth has been an absolute hero in terms of monitoring those, helping folks with edits, you name it. And so if you have any questions or issues, you know, don't be shy to be in touch with us. So make sure you're doing those posts. The other piece here is that if you do have any questions, whether it be about the picture and video contest, as I said, sort of posting and editing event information, accessing tools and templates, there are many ways to be in touch with us, but you can email us very easily at the National Health Center Week email, which you see there at the bottom. The other thing I would ask folks to do is that if you are able to confirm events with your members of Congress, please let us know. We track where they're going to be around the country. We want to recognize you and give you credit for being able to have those in-person events with these folks. The other thing is that we want to provide supportive materials so that you're prepared and you have the latest messaging on behalf of America's Health Centers to be able to have those conversations with your members. So again, just if there's anything that we can do to help, or if you've got questions in general around National Health Center Week, don't hesitate to email us at the NHCW@NAC.org email address or directly to any of the staff. So with that, I think we're going to pause there and ask if folks have questions. Elizabeth, anybody in the queue?
Yeah, so I think I just want to make one shout-out reminder that I think will take care of some questions. Yes, we are going to post this recording to our website. The website also has all the information that we've talked about, the rules, the list of prizes, the timeline, all that good stuff is already on the website, and then we'll have the copy of the slides and this webinar recording in the next couple of days. The release forms, we have a copy. If you have one that you use at your health center for various purposes, go ahead, use that. But if you don't, we have one available on our website for you. And again, it's right there along with the rules and the other information. Couple of questions. What are some suggestions for free software that folks can use to create and edit videos?
Well, I will just say, speak from experience, I think if you use a PC at your work and you have Windows Movie Maker, which most PCs kind of come with Windows Movie Maker, it's not like magic or awesome, but it's really simple to use because there's not a lot of fancy options you can do. So that's what I use for putting together a really simple, quick video. And then if you happen to use a Mac, it's the same thing, the Mac Movie, iMovie, or whatever. And that is very similar to Movie Maker, but probably a couple steps above it. But they're both, you know, come on your computer, and they're pretty easy to use.
We had a comment come in, too, from Sydney. Thank you. She, or he, sorry, Sydney, I'm not sure, but there was a suggestion that for photos, thank you. Sydney, thank you very much. She has shared with us that there's a program called, or a platform called GIMP, which is really great for photos. She shared, and she's described it as basically a free Photoshop. So definitely check that out, and thank you, Sydney, for that great tip. Any other questions, Elizabeth?
Related, in the video category, would a slideshow or series of photos set to music qualify as a video?
It does. Absolutely. You know, I think that the videos come in all shapes and sizes and formats. As long as you're within the rules and the guidelines, I think that that's absolutely a format that we would love to see and encourage folks to try out. That's actually a really great entree into the video contest. If you haven't done it before, slideshows can be a really fun way to showcase what's been going on at your health center and fall under one of those categories. I myself will reveal that I don't always feel like the most tech-savvy of people, but I find that I can handle the creation of slideshows as sort of mini videos. So absolutely that's inbounds, and we would encourage you to consider that as you're creating your videos.
Great. Got a question about folks who are inviting their local officials as well as their national representatives, and do we need to know about that? And I'll just answer that quickly. Yeah, sure. Feel free to let us know who all is coming to your event. There is a space on the event submission form for who you've invited, and please do follow up with us to let us know if they have confirmed. The reason that we stress members of Congress specifically is, I guess, two- or threefold even. We use that when we go out. You know, our staff and our team here at NAC travel around National Health Center Week, and we use where members of Congress are going to be as one of the criteria that we check to see, where we're going to be headed. The other thing is each March we do put out congressional awards, and attendance at a health center event or, just visiting a health center for a tour or some simple education is one of those check boxes. So we do like to keep track of where members of Congress are for those kind of purposes. But absolutely, yeah, if your local, state, other folks are attending, please do let us know. We'll be more than happy to track that as well. Let's see. Question about music. Can you use pre-recorded music or are copyrighted works protected? That's a great question.
You should not use copyrighted music. Obviously, and I've actually got this question a lot, but I mean, we have no real way of knowing if you've paid the royalties to use that music, so it is really an honor system, and we trust that you guys are following the law. Obviously, if you're doing something for non-commercial purposes, it tends to be okay, but because we are promoting this so widely nationally, and obviously we're hoping that you're going to be using this as a promotional material in your community or in your area, then it's really safer to stay on the royalty-free music side. There are a lot of good royalty-free music websites. If you're looking for background music, we use something called Ben Sounds a lot. It's literally just B-E-N sounds. And then if you just Google royalty-free music, you'll find a lot of good stuff. So I would encourage you to go that route just to play it safe.
And I think, yeah, if you're not using royalty-free or you're using copyrighted works, you do run the risk of having your video being taken down from a site.
Yes.
So that would not be great if you submitted it, and then all of a sudden we couldn't view it. Let's see. More questions coming in here. Can people vote via social media through likes, or do all votes go through our site? So we have 3 options this year for you to vote. There will be a web form that is available on the website, and you can vote for both pictures and videos on that form. For pictures, we will put up an album on Facebook, and you can like the photo of your choice there. So that's one social media option. And then for videos, we'll be creating a YouTube playlist, and you can like the video of your choice on YouTube. So that's your second social media option. But just remember that you can only vote once. So whether you're doing it on Facebook and YouTube or through the web form, you can only vote one time for one video and one picture. Let's see. In terms of editing events that you've posted, if members of Congress have confirmed attendance, there is a way to edit them. It's live and it is working, so if you go to that page on the Health Center Week website where you submitted them originally, you should be able to look up your events by either the zip code of the event or your email. So check that out on the website, and if you have trouble, again, just email us. We're happy to help. Should videos contain credits?
That's a really good question. I think where it's appropriate, and I'm going to have my team chime in as well, I think where it's appropriate, I would. I think anytime someone has helped and contributed, you can include credits. I think where it gets tricky is when you're up against the timeline. So I think if you have the time and the space to do it, then yes, absolutely. If you're running up against the timeline, maybe not. Maybe you put the credits. You can often with YouTube, you can have copy underneath your video where you can mention credits there if you feel like it's important to do that. It's not currently part of our rules, but it is an interesting flag and something that we may consider for the future. I don't know if others have anything else to add, Dorian or Alex. They're shaking their heads. I've covered that one. Any other questions, Elizabeth?
One more question about photo releases. Do we need releases for our employees? And I think that's on a case-by-case basis. Some organizations have something already written into HR policy about photos and videos taken of them, while they're at work or while they're on the health center campus. And so I think it's best to check with your HR or whoever at your health center would best know that. And I think beyond that, I'll just go back to what Alex said, which is if somebody is visible and you can identify them clearly in a photo or a video, then I would err on the side of, yes, have a release for them. Again, we've got a copy available on our website. It is in both English and Spanish. If it's a group, large sort of aerial shot, we've had those in the past where you can't really easily identify one person over another, or it's a public official, then you are fine not to have one. But I think definitely check and see what policies are on the books at your health center in terms of employees specifically. If you have any other questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. We've got a couple more minutes here before the hour is up. We'd love to answer whatever you've got.
I'm going to give another shout out to Athena Health, and basically, for those of you that are considering making a submission on the video side, Athena has put together a really great short video promoting the contest, but also just giving some quick tips around how to do it. And Allison is the star at the start of the video, so you'll be able to put the face with the name. You may have seen her from the first contest video they did also, but I think the great thing about their video is that it's a fantastic reminder that this doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have sophisticated video material, materials and or equipment. You can really just use a smartphone. It can be that simple, and we've talked about a couple of different options for how you can do the video editing. But just have fun with it. The beauty of these contests is that they are truly grassroots. We want them to be simple. We don't want them from a professional company or individual. We want you guys to have fun with it and just show us how you're celebrating National Health Center Week. See if you can incorporate some of those themes that we've mentioned earlier. But again, just a big shout out to Athena Health, and if you haven't had a chance, check out their tips video because it's a lot of fun, and I think it's good information in terms of how to produce something that's going to be noticed in terms of the contest submissions. I think with that, it's always wonderful when you can wrap up with a few minutes to spare. So I would just say thank you so much to our contest sponsors, to Pfizer Rx Pathways, and to Athena Health. Thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us today for the webinar. Please be in touch if you have any additional questions or need support in any way. You can email us directly or use the National Health Center Week email you see in front of you. And good luck. We're really excited to see what you send to us this year and to put that forward to this field to determine our winners once again. So happy Health Center Week, everybody, and we will look forward to hearing from you in just a couple of weeks. Take care.